Just about to start a light restoration on this CRF 150 RB. We're going to start today by giving it a new chain, but we're going to start off by taking out the rear wheel spindle, because one of the chain adjusters is seized up on this side. So we'll just go through and show you that. It's probably going to be a build over a couple of weeks, just a day or so a week, until we get all the parts, and then we'll see what the next video brings. Because you're going to have to undo the spindle so we can free up these chain adjusting bolts, because the one on the other side is seized. So we'll start off with a 24mm spanner on this side and a 17mm spanner on this side, and it's quite tight, so have to open it. There we go. And what I do, I thread it out almost to the end, and so you've got something to tap on. There we go. And that should pull out there now. Make sure you keep hold of the washers and remember what orientation that come from. So I'll just clean a bit of that to remind me that that goes at the top and that bit faces out. So we'll pull that out. Right, so push the wheel forwards, take the chain off, and then we'll drop it out of the caliper. And remember, don't lose the spacers. Okay, so move that to one side for a minute. And then we want to just clean these up, the threads on these, and loosen them up, because they are quite tight, and it'll just make your life a lot easier for adjusting the chain in the future. I'm just going to get a 10mm socket, mate. Right, 10mm. That'll fit in there now. As you can see, it's all rusty in there. So all we're doing is taking these out so we can clean up the threads and grease them up and put them back in. Okay. We'll just spray this with some GT85, just penetrating fluid, just to make it a bit easier. There we go. Okay. Right, now we're going to put some of this ceramic brake grease on that. I just prefer it to copper grease, because there's no different materials. There's no copper reacting with the alloy or whatever, you know. So it's just better using the ceramic, I find, because it's waterproof and it doesn't corrode. So we stick some ceramic grease on, just a little bit on the end. And then thread it back in. Okay. That's a bit better. And then just put some on there. Okay. We've done this side, just putting it back together now. Right, we've done the chain adjusters, both sides now, all them are done. So while the back wheel's off, I'm just going to take the opportunity to clean around all here and the chain guide and everything. We have got brake pads to change, but they're not here yet, so we'll just have to put it back together with the old ones in for now. but I'll just clean everything up while I'm here. So I just spray a bit of WD-40 wire brush and just give it a bit of a clean. Okay, mate. Clean the axle bolt as well. So same again, put the GT85 or WD-40 or whatever you want to call it. Just clean that up, and we'll put some new ceramic grease on that as well before putting it back together. And then clean the axle spacers, the chain spacers as well. But always remember where you took them from. Okay. We just put some ceramic grease. A lot of people use copper grease, but I prefer ceramic grease. There's no metallic bits in it. There we go. Okay, and then tap the axle back in. And then your spacers, just look for the groove, top and bottom, so it lines up with these little holes, these little lines on the swing arm. There we go. We have got a new chain. I'll put that on in a sec. Just put that back on like that for now. Right. Okay. You need to take this chain link off now. Always remember which way you take the chain link off, because the closed end of the chain link needs to be facing forwards. So there's a better way of doing this. I haven't got the direct tool with me today, so I'm just going to use the screwdriver that I've got. There we go. Split that part, split that part, and then I'll grab the new chain. And as we were saying, waiting on brake pads, they've just been delivered. The trick I've learned is pop the new chain onto the old chain, and then, wait a minute, pull that through, and then, and there we go, new chain fitted. And just slide that one, slide that off like that, drop the new chain out of the way, and then there we go, new chain. There we go, that's on with the closed bit facing the front of the bike. Job done. So basically I've got Charlie sat on the bike, so we've got the weight on it, and then we need to check the chain tension. Roughly I get like a 3-finger between the swing arm there and the chain to check the tension, and then make sure that the axle blocks, chain tension blocks, are equal on these lines, both sides. Once you're done with that, tighten this bolt up to spec, and then make sure these nuts are done, and job done. Right, both sides the same. Right, we're going to change the brake pads now. Got some new gold ceramic carbon brake pads, courtesy of the good old eBay. And now we need, I've started to slacken these off already, so we need to take the little cover off. You don't have to take this off, it gives a bit more room. They're not bad as in the wear, but if you look at them, they've all gone all hard and started to like fall apart. It's the age of them. Right, I'll take this little stainless slider out and give it a good clean, and then if you can get your little brush in, just clean that out, clean all the mud out of there, and then without spraying on the disc, just put a little bit of lubricant on the cylinder, on the piston, and just put a bit of lubricant on the piston and push the piston back. That's it. Release on slider. This way. Same top on. That's done. And now. Right, just slide the pads in. Put a bit of ceramic grease just on the contact areas where try not to get any on the pad surface like I've just done. Slide them back in all the way. There we go. Put a bit of grease back on that. Right, that's the back. Put that in, tighten that slide up. And we'll put that back up, make sure we're working, get the seat in, keep them fit. That's it. All done. I'll put the cover back on, just like that, and off we go. There we go, all back together, everything tight. Right, onto the front caliper now. Now we can just remove the two Allen key bolts from the back of the caliper there and slide the pads out, but because I want to check the condition and clean everything on the inside best I can, I'm going to undo these 12s. I've already slackened them off. So 12mm spanner, as you can see, they've got Loctite on them from the factory, so make sure you put some Loctite back on them when you torque them back. So these are off, and we can slide the caliper off, and as you can see, that needed a good clean. So we've got these little 5mm bolts on the back. They are quite tight. So get these 5mm Allen key bolts out of here. The pad sliders. A little bit stiff because they corroded in. There's that one. And be careful not to damage the threads. There you go. Pads out. You can see they're pretty cooked because the fork seals have been leaking. They've also leaked onto the brake pads as well, which hasn't helped with the stopping power. So I'm going to spray the back of the caliper with some GT85. Great stuff for cleaning all the oil and debris. Just wake it up with a wire brush. And then spray a bit off. That's it. That'll do me. And then get some pliers, preferably some bigger ones, or a spanner, big spanner, and push the piston back. You're supposed to get a piston rewind tool, but you can't just push it back like that. Off now, mate. Wait a minute. So I'm going to put the piston back. I do have a wind back tool, but this is a small caliper, so a pair of pliers, big pliers or mole grips, and just squeeze the piston back slowly. Job done. Okay. Right, same again. Put a bit of ceramic grease just on the contact areas, and then same with this one. And I've cleaned them all. I've cleaned everything up in there, so I'll just slide back. Right, line them up. A little bit of ceramic grease on the sliders. Get them back in position. Job done. Right, that's the caliper all built back up. And these bolts Loctited and torqued to specification. Please check up on your torques before tightening these up. And job done. Thanks for that, guys. Next video we'll be doing fork seals, engine and gear oil, and rocker cover gasket. Thanks.